Oh, yes, it's that time again, y'all. It's Truth or Tuesday! All right. Starting with a little whammy bar action tonight. Yeah, a little vocal whammy bar action. I might be one of the only guys who does that. Vocal whammy bar action. All right. How you guys doing? Here we are again, y'all. You know, I was thinking last year, I look back at what was going on last year, and about exactly this time last year, Trump got, shot in his ear, or so they wanted us to believe. And I had a fat crowd that night because that was like the biggest story. And I was thinking, man, this summer's pretty boring so far. We don't have a whole lot going on. If you really think about it, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for stories. They don't got shit to come up with. They're like, maybe we'll release the Epstein files. Maybe, if you're lucky. Do you want us to release the Epstein files? We might, if you really want it hard enough. You guys have to prove you're total NPCs and fucktards. And maybe we'll give you some Epstein files. Yeah, we're fucktards. We're fucktards. We're sheepletards. Please give us the Epstein files. Please, government TV. Please, news. Tell us about the Epstein thing, please. So that's the only thing going on right now is that shit. And now it looks like they're pivoting to Trump versus Obama, which is going to be one of our stories tonight. We're going to get to that. So tonight we got Trump versus Obama, which looks like this new feud they're going to inject us with, possibly. And you guys, God bless his dark soul. The Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, has passed away at age 76. So before we get on with the show, I'd like to dedicate this number to the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Well, crazy. Hey, but that's how it goes. Because my mother, she is a fat hoe. And maybe, if it's not too late, we can all do some drugs and then masturbate. Mental wounds stop healing, driving me insane. I smoke so many drugs, I fried my brain. I did so many drugs, I fried my brain. Let's go. All right. I came up with that shit just before the stream started. Hell yeah. All right. All right. It seemed very coherent when he, got up on stage and performed his farewell concert. All right. Let me get to super chats. So we had a super chat before the show even started. And then I had a couple fly by while I was singing. So let me go back to the beginning, which I think is the name of Ozzy's concert. Start from the beginning or back to the beginning, right? Whoa, trippy, bro. All right. First Amendment, before the program even began, says, okay, Got it working. Here you go. First Amendment. You don't want to use that one emoji making the Masonic sign because people will assume you are Masonic and making a 666. So, for future reference, if you're going to drop that emoji, people might point fingers and wonder what's up. But I appreciate the super chat, and I figure you did it on accident. You know, sometimes people, they hit emojis and they just aren't thinking that, like, you just hit the Masonic 666 emoji, the devil's emoji. I really sincerely hope you don't end up burning in hell just for accidentally hitting that emoji. I really don't. Thank you for the super chat getting us started before the show even begins. All right, it's going to be a good one tonight. I can feel it. That little Ozzy remix number I did at the beginning of the show started things off in the right direction. So while I was singing, there was another couple super chats like this one. Hank the Hillbilly. I like it. Good name. What files? They don't exist, I thought. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think it's a big made-up psyop. I don't think there's, like, any big news to release to the public. I think this is all just to keep stringing the public along, and it seems to be working fabulously. So, yeah, I was making fun of the whole situation earlier. You know, how America is asking for these files, and that's like the top story. And that's like basically them scraping the bottom of the barrel with an old story that they already ran. So now they're like doubling down on an old story again because I guess they don't have any other ideas this summer. So last summer, the scriptwriters came up with Trump getting shot in his ear and then posing dramatically while the crowd chanted, USA, USA. So now, a year later, what do we got? They might release the files. That's it. That's the best we got right now. So it's going to be tough for me to conjure up as much excitement as, that thing with Trump's ear. But I'm going to try and make it as fun as possible, even though I'm working with limited options, being that the news is pretty shitty right now. It's just very uneventful. So I'm going to try my best, And then I figured after we get through a few news stories, we could just talk about whatever you guys want in the second half of the show. Since the news sucks right now and there's nothing really that important worth talking about. All right. Hank the Hillbilly. I like it. I wish everybody had a cool name like that I could remember. All right. Replacement Skylights says, woohoo! No, 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 no. Woohoo! No, 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 no. Woohoo! No, 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 no. I got my EJ, but EJ BoJ. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. Woohoo! I name, my name, my name, my no. Woohoo! Because your mama is a hoe. Woohoo! I name, my name, my name, my no, 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 no. Oh, woohoo! That's how that song goes. All right. That's what you get if you send me a super chat and say woohoo. That's what you get. All right. All right. Starting off strong. 2 songs already. Digging it. Good times. Looks like I got another super chat coming in with a question. Sounds like a relevant question. Jet Set Radium says, do you believe in mind control? Do you believe in magic? Shooby-dooby-doo bop. Shoot, shooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo bop. Yeah, magic. Yes, I do believe in mind control. And I even think our electronic devices are doing a lot more than we think. And it might sound like boogity stuff to say that your phone's reading your mind. Your smart devices know more about you than you could ever possibly imagine. Might sound like, oh, I'm trying to scare you, man. The technology is not really that scary. Well, I really do think that they've added certain stuff to the water and the food that the phones and the smart devices can pick up on, and makes it easier for them to track you and keep track of what's going on. They might even know inside your body, like what your chemical levels are right now, for all you know, right? They might know about your brain activity levels and have a database all about you, you know. But I can't like prove that, you know. I'm sure my file is like, I can imagine the Jacob Gibson file from the government is fucking loaded with lots of stupid shit about me, a guy expressing myself on the internet, right? Like, I'm a fucking dude who fired up my phone and made a flat earth video in my fucking living room in my apartment, and then it turned into this 10 years later. And so I know there's this big government file, right, that they have just for me with all this shit in it. I would love to see it. But if I tell people about this, talk like this, they'll be like, oh, you're paranoid. You're crazy. You're just delusional. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Sure, there's no file with anything about me in it. Yeah, the government's not keeping track of me. These devices aren't listening. They aren't reading my thoughts. They aren't stealing my shit. No, they aren't doing that. So no, I don't believe in mind control. I do. Totally believe, bro. Looks like I got a few other super chats, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the Ozzy stuff first. Work our way to the Trump shit. Destinies said, do people live in the White House? Are all countries just corporations? You know, there's people who will tell you all about how America is like a business or it's a corporation. Seems more to me like a fucking hellhole. And in some ways, paradise. So the thing about this country, if you have money, you can go live in a part of the country that seems like paradise, away from the shithole, right? And you can live in your own little bubble, protected from the shithole reality. But if you don't have a lot of money, well, then chances are you're going to live around homeless people in the streets and people shooting drugs, you know, near the corner store, and just a constant, endless cycle that's just getting worse and worse of poverty, right? So when you look at the way the country has gone, and this country, the United States, if you look at just the direction it has gone, and then you look at like all forms of entertainment and all forms of media, it's like everything's in decline. It's not just the country, it's like everything going down with it. Every form of everything I can think of is in decline. Except for government control. I think that is actually something that they've improved. Their control over us. Yeah, I think they've shown improvement over the last few decades. That's like the only thing that has improved. Everything else is in decline. Like every major business, like even, you know, Hollywood in decline, television in decline, Disney in decline, every fucking form of entertainment, live music, right? In decline. The economy in decline. The WWE in decline. Ultimate Fighting Championship in decline. Baseball, football, right? Like what medium is fucking thriving and doing great? Replacement skylights with a super sticker. Thank you very much. Super stickers always greatly appreciated, even if there is no message attached. The donations help keep all of this going. That's right. All of this is because you guys are here and we're making it happen. And this is one of the final places on YouTube where real people get together and talk about real shit outside of the mainstream media bullshit story and the actors on the world stage. We talk about actual reality amongst real people here, and we point out how the news is fake. And there's very few places where that is going on online anywhere. And one Ballers coming in with a super chat said, how do you script writers pick sports legends like MJ? Bro, do a deep dive into MJ's background. He's a setup athlete who was designed to bring basketball to the world, just like Mike Tyson was a boxing plant set up to bring boxing to the world and be like the most popular boxer. So back then in the late 80s to early 90s, you could manufacture a sports star through scripted sports, and they would transcend the sport and become a gigantic superstar. And then you could spread the message and get people involved all over the world. People in fucking Cambodia want to be like Mike. You want to be like Mike? That's how they hook you, with a scripted superstar. And you know what? Look into Michael Jordan's dad dying, and then what Michael Jordan did right after his dad died, and look into the dates and the numbers. If you go, I'm not a gematria guy, but there's some numbers. I can't remember them all off the top of my head right now, but because it was years ago that I dove into it. But there's all these numbers and ritualistic connections between Michael Jordan, his dad dying, him having some of his best games, the Bulls logo being the devil. Look at the Bulls logo. It's basically a devil's face with devil horns. And he wins 6 championships, never loses a championship. So how do they script it? It's easy. They have one guy who they know has the talent, and then they script the championships around him. So basically what you're saying to me, and one Ballers, is how did they make Tom Brady the top quarterback in the NFL? Easy. They had the defenses let him throw touchdowns and score. How did Tom Brady become the GOAT? They scripted him to become the GOAT. Every fucking major sports hero athlete who rose to the top of their sport is a scripted fucking story from top to bottom. They have some initial talent, but them winning all the championships in glorious fashion, somebody's behind the scenes writing that script. Maybe we'll do a deep dive into Jordan's background, maybe next week or in a future episode. In fact, maybe I'll remind myself, because that one, MJ deep dive, that one would you guys would probably find interesting. Even you non-sports fans might find it interesting that Michael Jordan's whole career was propped up by gigantic corporate dollars and pushed globally for a reason. And the fact that the Bulls logo just happens to also look like the fucking devil. It's like quite the coinky dink. All right. Thank you, and one Ballers, for your super chat and question. Curtis Nelson said, supposedly Ozzy self-deleted in Switzerland. I don't know about that. You know, they could have replaced Ozzy a while back because, like, let's face it, like, you can just get some old guy with a wig and glasses to just walk around and go, Sharon, right? And he's Ozzy. All you would need is a guy to like wear an Ozzy costume. Ozzy's like is like Slash, and they did a South Park bit about how anyone can be Slash. Like Slash is like Santa Claus, right? Who's Santa Claus? A guy in a beard with a hat that fucking any actor can come along and be Santa Claus, and you're going to know him as Santa Claus, right? So anybody who looks enough like Slash could get up there and play guitar with Guns N' Roses. And as long as they can play the parts, they're Slash, even if it's not the real fucking Slash. So as long as you got some old fuck in a wig and glasses to go, for a few minutes on screen, it's Ozzy, as far as anyone's concerned. I mean, we're to the point where we have a fucking AI Trump and an AI Alex Jones, and nobody knows any goddamn different except me and you guys. So yeah, he could have self-deleted in Switzerland, or he could have been gone for the last 20 years. He could have been gone since the Osbournes left MTV, for all we know. Thanks, Kurt, for the donation. Sharon, there you go. It's a good enough Ozzy impression to suffice. Just give me the wig and the mask, and I'm Ozzy. Curtis says, hello, Jake. My garden died because of city water. Bro, here's the problem with growing vegetables and shit. Vegetables are shit. Vegetables are slave food. They mind fucked people into thinking that they need vegetables. Now, some fruit you can get some like minerals and stuff out of and whatnot, but it's like fruit, your body just recognizes it as sugar. And if you're going to have sugar, it's better to have fruit than some refined cane sugar and fucking high fructose corn syrup. So fruit is a better way to take in sugar, but your body just recognizes it as sugar. And so check it out. If you're growing vegetables, you're wasting your time. You could maybe have chickens and get some eggs and get some organic protein. So if you could use the same land to have some chickens or some ducks. I hear that people who have a few ducks with like a little tiny duck pond get a bunch of duck eggs, and duck eggs are like bigger and have bigger yolks, and you can charge fucking top dollar for them as free range organic duck eggs. So if you have the land and you can somehow have ducks or chickens, do that instead of a garden. Fuck a garden. Dude, you know what happens if you grow plants? Bugs eat the plants. How do you stop the bugs from eating your plants? Oh, then you got to spray your plants with shit. What are you going to spray them with? Oh, organic pest control. It won't. Bugs will still eat it, and animals will birds come fucking eat it. Dude, I've tried to grow shit back when I was a dumbass and thought that vegetables were healthy. It's a waste of time. I tried to grow bell peppers, and I ended up with these little tiny shitty bell peppers, and a snail would eat a hole in them, and then they would rot. And then you got to buy snail pellets to try and kill your snails from eating your little shitty bell peppers. And what's a bell pepper? It's some freak of nature plant that doesn't exist in nature. Hello? They convince people that eating broccoli and fucking vegetables is healthy. Meanwhile, none of that shit is in nature. Go try and find some wild motherfucking broccoli, wild fucking cabbage and iceberg lettuce. Go find a wild fucking salad and make it and tell me how wonderful it is. Now, you know what there is? Wild animals that you can kill and eat their meat. And that's how our ancestors thrived and survived. Not by eating motherfucking plants. The plants were for slaves. If you had no meat and nothing else, you ate plants. If you were a real hunter, then you would go kill an animal and eat that animal. And let me tell you, the person who ate the most meat in a day was the healthiest man, not the person who ate the most motherfucking broccoli. So, Kurt, take it as a sign from God. You weren't supposed to have no motherfucking garden. Booyah. There you go. And you won't hear any shill spit truth like that. Skater boy Tony. He's just a skater boy. Said see you later, boy. Ah! Why did you have to name yourself Skater Boy? Now you made me sing Avril Lavigne in my fucking head. He says, hey, Jake, what's that? We still do that around here. We still do that, or at least I still do that. I'm probably the only one who still does that. I know I'm the only one who does it the best. So that's one of the things I'm pretty proud of. I'm the best in the world at doing was-ups. And there's people like, oh, you're so cocky and full of yourself. Go find someone doing a better was-up than me and come back and show it to me. And I will admit that I'm just cocky and full of myself. But until then, I'm pretty goddamn sure I am the best at doing the was-up in the whole fucking world. So therefore, I am allowed to be proud of my accomplishment. Okay? All right. Holy shit, what the fuck was that? I'm sorry. Sometimes shit just comes out of me and I don't know why. It's almost like a computer programmed code is just spewing out of my mouth. Like some funny computer guy fucking hacked my system and made me the funniest motherfucker in the world, and I can't control it. Kevin Arnold 37 says, great info, thumbs up. You know what we should do right now? Let's have a thumbs up drive. Everyone, right now, you, your mama, your sister, your daddy, your titty, some guy eating an onion, hit the thumbs up right now. Yeah, that's right. I said that. You, quit jerking off. Hit the thumbs up, and then you can go back to jerking off. All right, bro? You know what makes YouTube come? You know what makes YouTube blow its load? When you give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and get YouTube off by hitting the thumbs up, and it's going to make YouTube come, and then it's going to put me in the algorithm and show me to everybody, and then I'm going to be as big and famous as fucking Ass Mongold. Yeah. And then I can take a diarrhea on camera and get 1 million views, and we'll all live happily ever after. But that's only going to happen if you hit the thumbs up right now. Don't you want all that stuff I just said to happen? Well, quit being lazy and hit the thumbs up right now. All right. Thank you, Kevin Arnold from the Wonder Years. Best damn show of the 90s. Maybe ever. The Kevin Arnold. Jack the A-hole just gifted 5 Jake the Asshole memberships. Jack the A-hole is a hero gifting out 5 memberships. You know, there's people out there who feel the need to talk shit about me and stab me in the back over memberships. Meanwhile, this dude's giving them out for free. Right? So, yeah. Anybody out there who feels the need to talk shit and stab me in the back over memberships, maybe if you just hang out here, you might get a free one. Thank you, Jack the A-hole. How very thoughtful of you. You are an awesome dude. I appreciate you helping people out with the memberships. And I'm going to be making more members-only content. Maybe I'll make some tonight, tomorrow. I realized, like, oh shit, I haven't done any behind-the-scenes stuff lately. So I'll give you guys some behind-the-scenes shit. So new members-only stuff coming at you. All right. Don't think I'm forgetting about the members-only. Plus, we're going to do a members-only stream. I'll set one up for this weekend. How's that? We'll do a members-only stream like Saturday. We'll plan for Saturday. So you got to be a member to join that stream. All right. Destiny says, what is your opinion about the White House? Son is asking. He looks up to you. Well, the White House is just a place. And the president, like, doesn't really live there. So if Trump can stay at Mar-a-Lago estate or the White House, he's going to probably stay at his Mar-a-Lago estate. And so the character of Trump, if you think about it, like they have AI versions of Trump, and then they have body double Trumps. The body double Trumps are not all living at the White House. So the White House is just this place in people's mind where they think the president lives. Yeah. So sheep in their mind think that their vote counts and that the president lives and works in the White House and that he's like hanging out there in the office doing stuff, helping to run the country. So that's what the White House is for. It's a place where sheeple can make believe the president is working. Nobody's ever explained it quite like that. I know, because I just explained it like that, and I can't think of anyone who's ever said that quite like that. So there you go. Destiny's Child, y'all. Trout fishing at Hood Park says, it's easy to fool us, but getting us to admit we've been fooled is difficult. It takes a special type of person to admit they were wrong and then change their whole way of thinking. So I've had to do it several times in my life, like, oh shit, we don't actually live on a globe. Oh shit, like the whole story about dinosaurs was just made up. Fuck! Now I gotta change like the entire chemistry of how my brain works now. Fuck. I had to do it. You guys had to do it, right? It's not always easy. For some people, you just go, oh, space is fake. Oh, okay, now I know. For me, it was like, fuck! Space is fake? Fuck! I liked space! I thought it was cool! But now I can't think it's cool anymore because it's fucking fake! And it's not fake like wrestling. No, it's like they're pretending it's real and it's totally fake and it's just a fucking lie. Right. So, yeah, it disgusted me to find out that space was fake because I used to love space. When I was a kid, that was like one of the subjects in school. I would be like, ooh, this is actually interesting. Oh, wow, other planets. Ooh, wow. And then you see the movies when you're a kid about aliens coming. So, of course, space was fucking awesome. And it broke my little goddamn heart to have space ripped away from me. But eventually, you got to come to your senses and realize space is fake and gay. So I started this channel by telling people the earth is flat and space is fucking fake. And here I am 10 years later. And I stand by both those messages to this day. Thank you very much, Trout Fishing at Hood Park. Coming in with a very generous donation. You guys are awesome. Starting off with a bunch of super chats tonight before we even get to the Ozzy ritual. And one baller says, do the scriptwriters choose sports legends when they're still kids? Probably. Their fathers were also legends, so are they told since kids that the world is stage? I don't know what these actors on the world stage know and how much they know about how the world works, or if they're just a talent that is being used to make billions of dollars for rich, greedy businessmen, while they are lucky to get millions. So I look at different examples, not just Michael Jordan, but I see like, oh, in boxing it was Mike Tyson. In rock and roll, there was a kid named Edward Van Halen, and then there was a kid named Dimebag Darrell, and they transcended the guitar. And both guys are dead and considered these like guitar virtuosos, So I can go as far as to say these roles were these children, are placed into movies, and in these teenagers who are discovered as rock stars who become the ultimate guitar god, and then their band has tragic shit happen and their life tragically ends. All these stories, when it comes to trading in your talent for dollar bills at the highest of high levels, they all end somehow with a steep decline or in tragedy. So if you look at Michael Jordan, he's not remembered quite like he was right after he retired, because it's like now people have heard a lot of bad things about him. His name's been dragged through the mud. And so even these athletes who go out as like the greatest ever, the public doesn't always remember them as being such great people. I don't know what I was getting at there. But yes, I think that there's a lot of examples of different athletes, actors, and the people on the world stage being groomed since they were children for the certain positions that they take. For sure. That would have been a better way to answer your question. All right. Shady Davy D. A member for a month. So we've only been doing the memberships for 1 month. So we're starting month number 2. It's been a good start. I think I got all the super chats caught up. No, one from Hillbilly Hank. Told me he liked my "Was Up." Let me hook up Hillbilly Hank, pull him up on screen. This is like the second time he donated tonight. Damn, where is that super chat? Here it is. Thanks, Hank. So that "Was Up" made him laugh out loud on the floor. See this, guys? You see this? This is proof. People still like it when I do the "Was Up." So that means if people are still liking it, and then they're sending me super chats telling me that they like it, well, I guess that means I should probably keep doing it, right? I mean, why would I stop if there's people rolling on the floor laughing? I wonder if Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel got any of you guys to roll on the floor and laugh lately. Yeah, you know, those guys who make tens of millions of dollars and have a team of hack writers and they're still not funny. Nowhere near as funny as your boy who gets people to roll on the floor and laugh just by saying "was up" in a funny way. But if I talk about that too much, people say, "Oh, your ego. Oh, ego." So let's not talk about how I'm the most insanely funny person in the world anymore. Replacement Skylight says, have you seen Dashinsey channel on YouTube? I haven't heard your take on him. Dutch Cincy. I'm not familiar with that channel. I'll look it up right now, though, just because you sent a super chat and you're asking. I can take a quick look. 673,000 subs, huh? It's a lot. And he's got the check mark. Huge view counts. Well, pretty big. So is this guy some sort of globe believer? Because he's got what appears to be a globe here.
Hello, everybody. It's 3:55 p.m. Central Time on the 16th of July, 2025. It is Wednesday here in the United States. I hope you're doing well. Got breaking news for everybody. A very large earthquake has struck off the coast of Alaska right at the start at the opening to the Aleutian Island chain. And let me get a display capture turned on so that you can see.
All right, check it out. Just the opening minute and a half, and then me skimming through like this, and all I see is just CGI, globe, CGI, websites, just CGI, CGI, CGI. The fact that this gets 93,000 views, I don't know who in the fuck would watch this and be entertained by it. Like, just the first minute and a half, I would click away. And me skimming through and seeing that this is some earthquake shit. Like, for 23 minutes, do I want to sit and look at CGI, globe, earthquake shit? Like, do you guys want to sit and listen to this after hearing 1 minute? Let me ask you guys what you think about what we just watched.
What I see ever so slightly better here. Okay, and let's also zoom in on the earthquake epicenter ever so slightly as well. There we go. So we are out here right in the ocean, and there is a tsunami warning which has been issued on this. Here's tsunami.gov. I'm going to hit refresh to make sure we have the most current information. But again, we've got an actual tsunami warning going on.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm falling asleep. Yeah, that guy totally deserves to get 93,000 views on that for sure. Yeah. I don't deserve 93,000 views. I'm not showing a globe on screen and talking about earthquakes, so I don't deserve that sort of view count. Fuck me. Fuck me for life on this platform, right? But that guy, whoa, he was so goddamn entertaining that I couldn't stop watching. Thanks for having me show that guy, bro. The shit people watch on YouTube, you know? I know I'm like this fringe niche, thing. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But then when I see like the view counts on something like that, I'm like, God, that was going to for sure put me to sleep if I kept watching. Like, if I wasn't doing a stream and I was here in my office, and I put that on, that would seriously make me go to sleep. What? I'm the one who said that the lock is broken, so it wasn't me.
Going around checking everybody's
I'm the one who's reporting that it's broken.
Yeah, we're going around checking everybody's key.
Yeah, we must stream. Давай
Oh, sorry. Go stream away. You're perfectly fine. Go.
Давай, пошли. Мы тоже такие. Yes! Donald Trump.
Say it again. Say it one more time.
Donald Trump, fuck you.
Good times. So yeah, I told the owner of the building that the back lock is broken and that I can't get my key in. And so he comes knocking on the door and he's like, "We're looking for the person who broke the key off inside the lock. Is it you?" And I'm like, "I'm the one who told you that the fucking thing's broken. So of course it's not me." So I showed him it's not me. Anyway. And then there's a dude here who speaks Russian, and he decided to yell "fuck Donald Trump." Hilarious. All right. Yeah, there's a dude here who rents an office, and he speaks Russian, and he speaks like broken English. So our conversations are hilarious. Jake, what do you think about Donald Trump? And I have to think, how am I going to answer this? He's a full of shit. He's a fucking liar. Huh? I can't tell him that, like, oh, there's an AI Trump and body doubles and fucking Trump is a world stage. That's like too much. So I just have to be like, Donald Trump, no good. He's a fucking liar, eh? Because that's how he talks to me. Jake, how does What do you think of Donald Trump? Florida Todd says, any new romance disasters? Hello Kitty coffee makers being bought. Seen her since? New dates? No, and no, bro. I wish I could tell you different, but I've been focused on, running the channel and in my own little world here. And then since I've got the dog, it's just like, take the dog out, do a stream, think of the video and plan my next move, and then the office gets dirty and dirty clothes pile up. And then I have to spend a couple days just catching up on errands. So it's like, I'm either walking the dog, running errands, or trying to figure out what to do next with this channel, or doing something with the channel, And that's like my whole life. And so, haven't went on any new dates, which means no disasters, which means no Hello Kitty coffee makers being bought. I haven't seen that girl since that you're speaking of. I deleted her off of Facebook, and I don't run into her or anything, so I don't live around her anymore. So, nope. Don't think I'll probably ever see her ever again. And good riddance. And apparently, I'm the guy who I was watching predicts earthquakes. Oh, okay. Let me pull up a super chat that I missed. So the reason why we were watching that guy, I guess maybe the reason why he gets those big view counts is because he predicts earthquakes. But how often does he get it wrong? So if earthquake guy can predict an earthquake once in a while, but he talks about earthquakes all the fucking time, you're bound to get one right if there's earthquakes technically every day and you're always talking about earthquakes, right? Right? So replacement skylights is the dude that predicts earthquakes. So check it out. If I talk about earthquakes every day, I'm like, there might be an earthquake today. And then there is somewhere in the world, I can be like, see, I told you. I'm like fucking an oracle of earthquakes and shit, man. 93,000 views, bro. Hell yeah. All right. Holy shit, I think we made it through the super chats, and now we can get started. Let's start with the Ozzy stuff and get that out of the way real quick. We'll do that. We'll just watch a couple media clips, and then we'll get into the fact that his last concert was 2 weeks ago, and he was up on stage performing a farewell concert. Wow. How very convenient that he didn't die just before that. But we'll get into that. And then, of course, all the symbolism with Prince of Darkness and all the dark stuff, the occult stuff with Ozzy. It's obvious he's a world stage character. So you got to look at his death as being scripted and his character being removed off the world stage conveniently right after his farewell concert. Here we go.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we do have breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne, founding father of British heavy metal, the frontman for Black Sabbath, and a reality TV luminary, has died after a years-long struggle with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, dies at the age of 76, just weeks after performing a farewell show.
Weeks after performing a farewell show. So they had all these bands help him out, like Metallica and Pantera, and there was a bunch of other bands. And they had this big day of music and celebratory songs dedicated to Ozzy. So you had other band members singing Ozzy songs and doing tributes, and they called it what was it? Back to the Beginning. So the fact that, he was able to perform at this farewell show, like everyone was able to come out, and they were able to pull off this big gigantic show and commercialize it and sell tickets and make money off of it. And Ozzy got up there and performed, and then he died. Good thing he didn't die like just before the show. That would have sucked, right? Conveniently, he was able to perform just a few weeks ago, a farewell show.
CNN Stephanie Elam has more on his life and musical legacy.
He was called the Prince of Darkness. And for half a century, British musician Ozzy Osbourne rocked heavy metal fans worldwide. As frontman for Black Sabbath, Osbourne's charisma and...
Yeah, guys, he was just a teenager with a rock and roll dream. And he became the frontman for Black Sabbath. And he has this iconic name, Ozzy Osbourne, and he sold hundreds of millions of records and made hundreds of millions of dollars and toured worldwide over and over and over again. Just a kid with a rock and roll dream. You guys, what a great rock and roll story. If you just want it bad enough, you can just think in your head, maybe I'll call myself the Prince of Darkness. Maybe I'll drape myself in all this dark occult symbology because it looks so cool. And, people will just like it so much that I'll have this wonderful career. Yeah, totally. It could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. All you need is the talent and the idea, and it happens, and then record label execs come along and discover how talented you are, and everything organically happens.
Wildness on and off the stage.
Had I known it was a real bat, I would never have bitten into it.
Transcended music.
Oh yeah, and he bit into a bat and tore the head off of a bat, supposedly. Now, I've also heard stories it was a fake bat.
And made him a cultural phenomenon.
And then he's married to this thing, or was married. I guess they got a divorce or whatever. Who cares? But he was with this thing right here. And then they did reality TV on MTV. So MTV used to play music, but then they went all reality fucking TV, stopped playing music. And so the Osbournes wasn't Ozzy Osbourne's music. It was a fucking reality TV show where they put on an act for the fucking camera. Pretend to be a dysfunctional family for the camera. Ham it up for the camera. Oh, Jack, are you going to go in your room and masturbate? No, Mom, I'm going to go eat a McRib. What gives? Oh, Jack, you're always in your room masturbating. Ozzy, Sharon! Let's pull up a dump truck to these fucking people's house and dump hundreds of millions of dollars. Such a wonderful family. I'm sure none of their bad habits are going to rub off on the American public. I'm sure it wasn't anyone's idea to get the American public to start acting like these fucking people on TV, on MTV. No, it was definitely a real family acting totally real on a totally wholesome music television network. And they're every bit as real as you and I. And the fact that Ozzy is a rock star and we get to see the behind the scenes of his real life just shows he's a real person and has the same issues that we face. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like me and you guys. That's why so many people loved him and connected with his show on music television.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, you get the fucking president of the United States to say your name, and then they put the camera on you, and then everyone cheers. It happens to every great rock star who totally deserves it.
Born in Birmingham, England in 1948, John Ozzy Osbourne left school at 15 and found inspiration after hearing the Beatles on the radio.
I can remember
the first time I heard
the Beatles, you know, who had little girls chasing them and they were bigger than Jesus Christ. Yeah, they even told you they're bigger than Jesus Christ while little girls chased them. Little girls would wet their panties, right? And they made sure to show you how all the little girls were screaming and wetting their panties. Because you can't fake something like that, right? Beatles mania? Yeah, all you need is some girls pretending. You just need a few clips of people chasing the Beatles, and then you put that on TV, and that convinces people that they should also do the same. So Beatles mania is manufactured, and here he is. He was what was it?
Inspiration
Inspired by Beatles mania.
after hearing the Beatles on the radio.
I can remember the first time I heard She Loves You. That changed my life because I thought, that's what I want to do.
Osbourne became lead vocalist of the band that would become Black Sabbath in 1968 and pioneered a daring, genre-defining new sound. The heavy guitar and riff-based albums Black Sabbath and Paranoid.
Here's the deal, guys. You know what I think? I think these songs are handed over to these bands. They've got certain people up the chain who have access to certain chords, certain musical changes, and certain lyrics that if you put these lyrics to these chords, you will have a hit song. So imagine somebody hands you chords and words, and all you got to do is play it, and people will be like, whoa, what's that? I love it. Oh, yeah. Many of the biggest name bands were handed their work. They didn't just fucking come up with it. You think these guys are just sitting around and it just occurs to them to play these certain chords? It just occurs to them to call themselves Black Sabbath. It just occurs to them to drape themselves in all this dark imagery and occult symbology and shit, and it just so happens to work perfectly. Wow, how about that? Now, if you're some teenager now in 2025 and you try and recreate any of this on your own, you will fail. You will crash and burn. Try and become a metal god nowadays and do it legit out of your fucking garage or here on YouTube. You'll crash and burn. You'll never make it to this level. So I really think that a lot of these big name bands are helped along the way entirely.
Captivated audiences in 1970.
You might even have CIA agents as band members infiltrating the rock and roll scene, man. All you need is a few CIA agents who have some musical talent to be in some big name bands, and they can keep track of everything going on behind the scenes in the rock and roll business. And it is a business, and it controls people's minds. So why wouldn't the CIA be involved and the government be involved in rock and roll? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, money. You don't think the government's going to stick their little finger in that and fuck with it? Of course they did. Every band has a dark side. Every big name band has a dark side. Name a big name band, and I can tell you about their dark side.
As Black Sabbath's fame exploded, so did Osbourne's hell-raising behavior. He was fired from Black Sabbath for drug and alcohol abuse in 1979. Those same issues broke up Osbourne's first marriage and followed him for decades.
Have you been tempted to go back to the drug usage?
All the time.
I get tempted all the time, and then I give in to temptation on a daily basis. In fact, I gave in to temptation just before I did this interview with you.
I mean, when you're a drug addict, you don't stop being a drug addict because you stop taking them.
But Sharon Arden, the daughter of Black Sabbath's manager,
Oh, Ozzy! I don't know why you're talking like that. Ozzy!
oh, I don't know why people make up rumors about Ozzy's drug use. There was a time where Sharon would scoff at people if they mentioned that Ozzy was a fucking heroin addict junkie. She would be like, those are rumors. Why are people making up rumors about Ozzy? It's like, oh, I wonder why they would say that, Sharon. She went on the Howard Stern show, and I remember, this is many years ago, Sharon went on the Howard Stern show and feuded with the Insane Clown Posse. And the Insane Clown Posse was like, oh, why don't you go tell your fucking junkie husband to fucking shut his mouth or something? And she was like, junkie? What do you mean? Why are people making up these rumors about Ozzy? And fucking fat insane clown dude is like, oh, I don't know why people would make up rumors like that. Yeah, I have no idea. You know, one thing the insane clown guys did do was they bet Sharon that their next album was going to go platinum, and Sharon said that they wouldn't sell even a couple 100,000 copies, and they bet money on it on the Howard Stern show. And the Insane Clown guys did have their next album do well, and so Sharon was supposed to pay them 50 G's, but she never forked over the money. Hey, whether it's a world stage act or not, if you fucking welch on a bet, then you are a piece of shit. So Sharon owes the Insane Clown Posse $50,000, and she never fucking paid up. Fun fact, right? All right. Or just a stupid story, one way or the other.
Helped get him back on his feet and encouraged him to go solo. Osbourne's debut single, Crazy Train, got the singer back on the rails. Ozzy and Sharon married in 1982, and Sharon managed his career for the rest of his life. Their love was on full display to an entirely new audience in the 2002 MTV reality series, The Osbournes. Ozzy's dry, at times unintelligible humor and relatable parenting challenges endeared him to millions. And the fly-on-the-wall look at the Osbournes' expletive-laden daily life shot the family to fame. After years of speculation,
imagine that you become like a bigger superstar than you've ever been, and it overshadows your music. And what did you do? Sharon, I can't figure out how to work the remote control for the bloody TV. Right? Him not being able to fucking open a fucking package, right? Him like just staring off at the wall and looking high as fuck. Yeah, that's what shot him to the biggest fame ever. More so than any of his music. More so than his singing ability. And I gotta say, his singing, very computerized in his later years. Like there's this vocal effect that's being added. So and now there's AI that sounds exactly like Ozzy, but better. So now with AI, you can be like, oh, write me a song in the style of Ozzy, and it'll sound like the best version of Ozzy that you've ever heard. Ridiculous. And they even had Ozzy listen to an AI version of his own voice and be blown away. So they're even like putting the notion in your head that AI is going to kill live music. People are cool with that. Let's just stand by while AI fucking destroys live music forever.
About his health, Osbourne revealed his Parkinson's disease diagnosis in an interview with Good Morning America in 2020. But Osbourne was committed to making more music, and 3 years later, he won 2 Grammys for his album Patient Number 9, bringing his Grammy total to 5. Osbourne reunited with his bandmates over the years. Is this the end to record their last album, 13, and for Black Sabbath's final The End concert tour in 2016. Osbourne made over 20 albums and is among the elite group inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a fucking joke. There's so many great bands that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So any rock and roll fan, like true rock and roll fan, will tell you that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a fucking joke. They induct R&B artists and rappers and pop stars and hacks into the Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, there's hardcore rock and rollers that paid their dues, never quite made it to the top, and they busted their ass, and they're still out there playing, and they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So fuck the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Doesn't mean anything.
From Prince of Darkness to reality TV show dad, Ozzy Osbourne was a man, a myth, and a legend.
And so CNN, right, which is the CIA news network, basically, is here giving this eulogy, right, praising him in his scripted death. So they don't do this for every rock star. There's plenty of like 80s rock stars that if they were to pass away, like they might get maybe a little snippet on the news at best, maybe, you know? Like if Stephen Piercy from Rat passed away, he wouldn't get this big long thing. They maybe would say like a 30-second clip on the local news that Stephen Piercy from Rat passed away. But he wouldn't get all this shit. So the fact that he's holding a cross and he's the Prince of Darkness, CNN, MTV, reality TV. Wow. And he was with Sharon, who's like some crazy witch-looking person these days. It's almost like Satan lived out his life in the human form through these rock and rollers. So imagine if Satan gets to like put little pieces of himself here on Earth and live out his life as a human here on Earth. He could make himself be Ozzy Osbourne and finish out his life on a black throne in a coliseum and get everyone to worship him in some black satanic ceremony. Or we can just pretend it was just good old-fashioned rock and roll and entertainment. Look at that. Take the cross, and then you combine it with being the Prince of Darkness and all this dark imagery, demonic darkness, satanic imagery, and you combine it with a cross, right?
Joining us now, CNN's Lisa Respers France and entertainment journalist Segun Oduolowu. Good to have you both on. And Lisa, he was 76 years old. It was just weeks ago he had this farewell tour, performed with some of his own bandmates from Black Sabbath. It was a charity event, interestingly, for Parkinson's, among other.
Charity event for Parkinson's. You can call it charity, but that just means they're going to give some money to charity. It doesn't mean they're going to take all the money and give it to charity. So it's like if I raise $5 million and then I give 50,000 to charity, I can be like, it was a charity event.
Causes, given that he himself had announced his battle with Parkinson's. What do we know about how he passed away, and what does his family say?
The family says that he was surrounded by love. He's been ill for quite some time, and he did not look to be in great shape.
But he had just enough energy for one last show, you guys. He got to sit on a big black satanic throne with ghoulish fucking imagery and perform one last time for all of his fans. And then he died. He had that one last show left in his body, like a true rock and roll legend. You guys realize you have to have someone scripting this in order to have it work out just like that and have all these news programs have all this lined up, ready to go. Right. Just a few weeks ago was the show. So now people are going to go back and watch that show and remember Ozzy. Man, imagine if he died, like 2-3 days just before the show, I mean. Would have ruined the whole thing.
he was did his show just a couple weeks ago. People were talking about how ill he looked. But the family has come around him. They've been celebrating all types of, moments with him. His daughter Kelly just got engaged right after he did his show. And so, they were really leaning into spending time with him. And we got to see Ozzy, enjoy that engagement.
Yeah. And Shagun, let's talk a little bit about his legacy.
Yes, Rasta Bear hit it on the head. So artists' album sales after they die are fucking, it peaks. So Michael Jackson's death, kapow. Tupac's death, kapow. Yeah. God, I could, name plenty of others. Fucking David Bowie. So yeah, when a recognizable industry plant musician dies with their scripted death, you better believe big fat dollar bills are made. And you can keep people's memory intact of that artist in that form, rather than seeing Ozzy be like, 80 and totally crippled and unable to speak. They can have him perform one last time and then kill his character off, and people remember him as the guy who went up there and sang that one last show, rather than a dude who was like a total crippled, stumbling, bumbling drug addict who couldn't even string together a sentence on his deathbed.
See, because I think he was already kind of singular, and then he had this mass appeal from the show the reality show that his family did, and everyone was sort of introduced to him in a different way.
And when you go out like this, everyone remembers you as a legend, right? So Ozzy didn't get smeared too bad towards the end. Like when Sharon left him and said he was cheating and stuff, nobody was like, oh, Ozzy, you're such a terrible guy. Fuck you. I hate you. So Ozzy gets to go out as the Prince of Darkness, like one of the lords of heavy metal. And anybody who likes heavy metal or Ozzy is just going to love him right now. And you couldn't talk any shit on Ozzy right now, right? All the metal fans would come unglued. So if you look at his send-off, man, you got to be really high up the chain in the heavy metal world. You really have to be a major member in the big club for them to give you this sort of send-off.
Yeah, that's a great point. The Osbournes became like a modern day Addams family, right? Where the honeymooners saying, that Sharon, that call that he had on the show, like it became synonymous.
Beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone. And
I want to see if I can find the picture of him on the throne at the last show. Actually, there's like another news clip that was talking about his last show. That'll show it. Just the stuff that was on stage and the whole stage setup. Just very dark and ghoulish and demonic, But that's his whole character, right? All right. So this news article or news clip talks about why his final show was special. Oh, okay. Please, mainstream media, CBS, tell us exactly why Ozzy's final show was so special before his death.
The godfather of heavy metal and Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, has passed away at the age of 76. He was just 19 when he started his career as the frontman of Black Sabbath. He also had huge success as a solo artist, and later in his life, he revived his career with the reality TV show The Osbournes. He leaves behind his wife and manager Sharon, 6 children, and several grandchildren. We're joined now by Jem Oswald. He is with Variety. Thank you so much for being here on on such a sad day. And I want to touch on the fact that he had his farewell performance just a few weeks ago. And you were talking to us earlier that he didn't sing all of the songs at that tour, right?
Yeah, you can't have him do a 2-hour show and then die, because that would look pretty fucking weird. If he was up there like looking fantastic and performed an entire set and was like the best version of Ozzy we've ever seen, like he's never lost a step, that might get the sheeple to raise an eyebrow. So all you need to have him do is just stay seated and then have some track play from the background and have him lip sync, and then cut his set a bit short and say it's because of health problems. And people will accept that as being good enough. And they'll think that he gave it his best shot.
Well, no, he did really pretty well for someone who was in his condition. He couldn't really walk, so he performed from this throne they had built.
He performed from a throne
for him. But the nice thing about the show,
here it is. Look at this. Look at this. Here's the throne.
Was even though he clearly wasn't at his best, usually when there's a show like that, when there are tributes like that, they happen after the person is gone. And it's just really great and very touching that he got to witness how much people revered him and how much they loved him with his old bandmates. And
so check it out. I've got to see Eddie Van Halen play in person just before he died, and he looked fine. In fact, you go watch Van Halen's final shows. Like, Eddie's not struggling at all. He looks in good shape and for his age, and is smiling. In fact, Eddie Van Halen went through some years where he looked all drugged out and out of it. But like in the final years of Eddie Van Halen playing, he looked good. And so Eddie Van Halen was like on stage smiling, and then like suddenly they were like, oh, he died of cancer. So it's funny how somebody could be on stage like looking just fine, and then they're like, oh yeah, it was a long time struggle, and he's dead now. It's like, dude, I just saw him up there though. And he looked like he could totally have kept on going for another 10, 20 years. So the fact that he was able to perform just before he dies, and they had this big event set up, and he was able to fit in the one last performance. Wow. How awesome for Ozzy's fans and the world.
And later bandmates and, bands that he influenced and everything like that in his hometown. It was a really great thing that he managed to hold on for it. And 2 weeks later,
it's a great thing that he managed to hold on. See the way they make it like it's not a scripted death? It's not a scripted death. It's a great thing that a rock and roll legend held on for just long enough to say goodbye to his fans. Do one last farewell show. How epic.
Later, here we are.
Yeah, what a moment for his fans, those who have followed him for so long. I also want to touch on the fact that you have interviewed him in person. You've gotten to see the real Ozzy Osbourne in his real setting. Take us back to that time when you met him.
All right. Well, I was really young. I had just started as a music journalist, and I sort of couldn't believe that my boss was sending me to interview Ozzy. But I went, and the interview was at 11 o'clock in the morning. He had clearly just woken up. He's wearing nothing but a bathrobe. I somehow remember it was a light blue pinstripe bathrobe, but all this jewelry, like multiple diamond rings and a Rolex and bracelets and chains and stuff like that.
What you expect? I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness. You expect me to not show my bling bling?
And I look and I can see his knees poking out from the rope, and he's got primitive smiley face tattoo on one knee and like a sad face on the other. Like, okay, that's a little strange. So he comes out and he sits.
Why is that strange? Can you explain what makes my tattoo strange?
Sits down and the publicist says to him, Ozzy, do you need anything? And Ozzy just says, a new brain, meaning a new brain because he was so hungover from the night before.
What a awesome, touching story. Wow, thank you for sharing. For those of you guys who who just showed up to the stream, you might have missed at the very, very beginning of the stream. I did a tribute to Ozzy. I sang my remix version of Crazy Train. And since I shortened it up, and I'm sure many of you missed it, I'm going to do a second encore version of my remix tribute of Crazy Train to Ozzy. Here it is, performing it for the second time tonight, just for you guys, my remix version of Crazy Train. Crazy, hey, but that's how it goes. Millions of people are living like hoes. And maybe, if it's not too late, we can all snort some drugs and then masturbate. Mental wounds stop healing, driving me insane. I've done so many drugs, I've fried my brain. I did so many drugs, I've fried my brain. I know that things are going wrong for me. You've got to listen to me when. Look at that. Little Ozzy a cappella. No auto-tune. No Ozzy effect voice. All right. Sing real lyrics? No. Sing parody lyrics. Me sing parody lyrics. Me make people laugh. Me get paid to sing silly song. Me likey be silly. You sing real lyrics? Question mark. Being silly tonight. Getting a little silly.
Yeah, he was very open about his struggles and certainly had a complicated past. But really, a lot of us who weren't the hardcore Black Sabbath followers got to really see his love of family with the reality show. So
you got to really see his love of family on the reality show. Yeah, you guys. You know that show where like he's screamed for Sharon to like help him fucking use the TV remote, and he would incoherently mumble, and then like Jack would play video games and jerk off in his room, and Kelly like was a wannabe singer singing "Shut up, sick of all the noise, shut up." Yeah, you remember that lovable family who totally wasn't faking it? We got to see the love between family on that reality show, which totally depicted reality. You guys remember Kelly was in a rock and roll band and it didn't work out? Yeah, I remember. You guys remember Kelly's hit song? Shut up, I'm sick of all the noise. Shut up, there's nothing you can do, send me. Shut up. Yeah, I remember. Kelly would like you to forget. The whole Osbourne family would like you to forget. I didn't forget. sick of all the noise. Shut up. I'll never forget. Saint V Earth says, do love Box Hero by Foreigner when you get the inspiration, Joe. My bruh. Do you mean Jukebox Hero? Is that the same song, Jukebox Hero? I think I know most of the lyrics to that. I think I might be able to pull it off. Since you're paying, bro, I'm singing. Standing in the rain with his head hung low. You know, he couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Oh, I'll bring the lyrics up on screen so it's more fun for everybody. He heard the roar of the crowd. He could picture the scene. He put his ear to the wall and like a distant scream, he heard one guitar. It really blew him away. He started stars in his eyes. And the very next day, he bought a bit up 6-string in a secondhand store. Didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure that one guitar felt good in his hands. And it didn't take long to understand just one guitar slung way down low was a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So then it started rocking, and it never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking. Someday gonna make it to the top and be a jukebox hero. Got stars in his eyes. He's a jukebox hero. He's a jukebox hero. He'll come alive tonight. Woo. Holy shit. Dude, this is taking up a lot of my breath. Singing Foreigner takes so much breath that, like, whew, I feel like I need a breather. Singing high range stuff, people don't get, like, how difficult it is. It's not hitting the high note. It's maintaining the high note for the entire fucking song. Whoa! Holy shit. You picked a challenging one, dude. You, like, tried to challenge me. Holy shit. Now it needs to keep it rocking, and it just can't stop. Gotta keep on rocking. That boy has got to stay on top and be a jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes. He's a jukebox hero. He'll come alive tonight. Yeah, dude, that is some serious hard work. I would continue, but geez, man, like that, they got a backup singer and shit. And if you go see Foreigner, it's none of the original guys, and the singer doesn't even sound anywhere near as good as that record. Go watch Foreigner. From what I hear, it's none of the same dudes, and the singer ain't very good. That's what I've heard if you go watch Foreigner. So there you go. Hopefully that was worth it, bro. But I feel like if I tried to, like, do the second part of that song, I'm going to blow out my damn voice. All right. And we lost like 100 people by me doing that. Right when I turned off the Ozzy and I started singing that, we totally lost a bunch of people. Quick, let me put this back on so they show back up.
We got to see both sides of him, which was so amazing for all sides to really adore him.
Well, I mean, that's kind of brought him full circle, because early Black Sabbath, people took their songs, people took their image very seriously. They thought they were.
Oh, got some super chats coming in. Let me read the super chats. Joey Anthony said, remember that video you did about Uncle Joey? Yeah, dude, it's trippy if you go back and watch like some of those Full House clips, how touchy and feely they are with Michelle. Oh, they're just being good actors. You know, they have to pretend that they love their niece so much, right? So if you go back and look, yeah, Joey was pretty touchy feely with what the Olsen twins. You go back and look how the Olsen twins were treated, and then the fact that the Olsen twins don't want anything to do with any of those cast members anymore. Gee, I wonder. David Hawthorne, no message, but a super chat. Thank you very much, David Hawthorne. I appreciate the super chat love, brother. Awesome. Hey, cut it out.
Actually devil worshippers, because this was a fairly new thing in music, and for them it was all just an act and a kind of, you know, show business thing, and people felt very threatened by him. And during his drug years, you know, like when he bit the head off the bat and everything like that, all those things got worse. So the show really,
bro, I appreciate your super chat, and I love to sing. The problem is, you know, if I just start singing classic rock tunes, like the audience who came to hear me break down Ozzy shit or break down the news or whatever, some of them are going to tune out. So I was just fucking around when I was like, well, no, now everyone's leaving. But like, yeah, man, your super chat, I totally appreciate it. I love to sing. I was in a classic rock cover band. So, dude, I would sit here and fucking sing all night if you guys, you know, keep sending super chats and have requests. But, you know, the ratings totally did dip when I started singing that. So I should probably get back to breaking down this story. And then maybe later on in the night, we'll sing another tune or two.
humanized him. I mean, I feel like the show was the real him, or at least the real him at that stage of his life. And it made him oddly lovable, which is something that stayed with him. It even is like,
oh shit, this might crash the whole damn the whole live stream. Shit, I might lose another 100 viewers. But since you're paying, I guess that means I'm singing. Doot, 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 doot. Everybody ready? We're going to sing the gayest song there ever was in the history of anything. One more time. Let's boogie. Doot, 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 doot. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. My favorite song is freaking YMCA. Yay. Because they've got young men there, and you know I love young men. I like to hang out with all the boys. Yes, young men. You know that I love young men, because quite frankly, you know that I love young men. So I go there to the YMCA, because it makes me feel so happy. Ooh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it's fun to stay at freaking YMCA. All my MAGAs, we love YMCA. Yay. Because all my MAGAs are there. You can have a good meal. And quite frankly, I like how I feel. There you go, buddy. Just for you. The gayest song ever.
You know, the band's popularity continued and their legend increased, because people don't really realize how musically sophisticated isn't quite the word, but how musically innovative the band was. Him as a singer, because it was
Rob F hooking up 10 people, 10 lucky people with memberships. Rob F, you are a legend and a hero. I appreciate that. Hooking people up with super chat with memberships is awesome. It's every bit as awesome as super chats.
For him, it wasn't like he, you know, could hit all these super high notes or anything like this, but the emotion that went into his voice, the menace, the fear, you know, the threateningness that he could have in his singing were just amazing. And his music is going to live on for a really long time.
Oh, absolutely. So many shades of Ozzy Osbourne. And I don't want to out my cameraman right now, but honestly, he had tears in his eyes when he heard the news. How was it for?
Honestly, he had tears in his eyes. Well, how could that be if Ozzy sings, "No more tears, no more tears"? Is that a pun? Is that a play on words? Did she mean to say that? Was that part scripted? I would say so. All right. There you go. We're going to wrap it up like that. All right, guys. We'll move on from Ozzy's scripted death, and we will bid his character a final farewell on the world stage. Here's the thing. I don't think that Ozzy Osbourne, the man, is dead. I think his character is dead. And so maybe he gets to go retire on sold out celebrity island where everything is amazing and everyone lives a life of luxury and has the greatest technology and everything's wonderful. Maybe they get to go live in this utopia, that we're not allowed to ever visit or ever see or ever be a part of. And the only way to ever get to be in that utopia is to transcend this world stage reality here, where all of us, all the people are kept captive in a barnyard of a country where you're not allowed to leave without permission. Right? They got us held captive, watching these puppets on the world stage, and then these certain puppets on the world stage that have paid their dues the longest and worked their way up the chain the most, they get the highest honor of like maybe getting to retire on Celebrity Island. I don't know. I always wonder what happens to these people when they get replaced or when they die off, And there's no way to know. That's the thing. There's no way to know if the original Ozzy is already dead. If Ozzy gets to go retire on Celebrity Island, or what the fuck happens, And then does his kids and Sharon still get to call him and talk to him in private, and they have to hide that from the public? How does that work? I have no idea. I always wonder how that part works. What about their family members who are still here playing parts on the world stage? Do they stay in contact? No way to know. Rob F says, super talented and appreciated. Well done, Jake. Oh, thank you very much, Rob F. I totally appreciate the compliment and the super chat, brother. All right, let's check out the latest news on Trump, because he is challenging Obama to a no holds barred fight. You guys got to hear it. I think he wants to bitch slap Obama's mama. I don't know. We'll have to listen. We'll see what Trump says.
President, do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Elaine Maxwell? Did you urge the Attorney General to see?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General has reached out to Elaine Maxwell's attorney asking for a new interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but I think that sounds like something that could be appropriate. I have no idea what you're even talking about. I don't know what they're doing with her, but that sounds like something that is appropriate. And of course, we want to get this on camera. We want to get the answer to this question. You asking me not knowing, and me telling you that it is appropriate. We're not wasting anyone's time. All right, this is very important news that's being aired right here.
Do you have any concern that your Deputy Attorney General, as your former attorney, would be conducting the interview?
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart.
He must be talking about me. Jake the asshole, he's a very talented person. He's very smart. He's the funniest man in America. Quite frankly, he's the funniest person who ever lived. Right now, he's doing the best Trump impression in the world. He's doing really wonderful things. He's funny. He's smart. He's good looking. There really is nobody quite like him. Thanks, Donnie. I agree.
I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold.
Oh, y'all hear that? We were doing a witch hunt. We watched Blair Witch Project, and then we started a witch hunt. I got to say witch hunt one more time. Excuse me. Witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt. And of course, as I go on a witch hunt, we're looking for witches, and we caught one. We caught a witch red-handed doing witchery and witchcraft, and of course, it was none other than Obama.
Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way, going up to 2020 of the election. They tried to rig the election and they got caught.
They tried to rig the election and they got caught. None of the elections were rigged except for that one. They tried and then they got caught. This last election, I won by such a landslide. There was no way to even rig the vote. There's no way to rig a vote between me and Kamala because I'm automatically going to get like 90% of the vote or something like that. So there's no way to even stuff enough ballots for Kamala to even theoretically beat me. But of course, the time where I lost to Joe, the time where I lost to creepy, sleepy Joe, that was, of course, rigged. It was done by Obama, and we caught him red-handed. That's why I'm spilling the beans right now and telling you all about it. People are getting tired about hearing about the Epstein files possibly being released. So now I got to call out Obama so I can keep distracting people with something new. Got to create new news. So I'm going to call out Obama. People are getting sick of hearing about these Epstein files. Will he? Will they not? Are they going to release the files? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me tell you something. Obama. Obama's the problem. Obama is the one you should be mad at right now. Everybody focus your attention on how bad of a guy freaking Barack Obama is. That's who I'm going to go after right now. In fact, I'm going to challenge Obama at the next WWE event. I hear they're having trouble selling tickets to SummerSlam. I'm going to challenge Obama to a cage match, not just any cage match. We're going to do it right. We're going to do a Hell in the Cell. There you go. Whoa, I took that one in a crazy direction, didn't I? That one went on and on.
And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people.
Now, if you guys remember, I told you that I was going to put that woman in jail, and I never did put that woman in jail, but I just want you to know I'm still thinking about it, and maybe it's time I go ahead and start working on going after Obama. Maybe it's about time I put that woman in jail. You know, I've been hard at work fixing all the problems that Sleepy Joe left over from the last regime. I was turning down the price of the eggs, the eggnog price, turning it down just for you. So all of you lovely people could save money. But now that that's done, I think it's time I challenge Obama to a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam.
Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that
what they did in 2016 and 2020, very criminal. Criminal at the highest level. Now, when I recommended that you take the jab and the booster back in 2020, I was recommending what I thought was best for you in your body. But you're free to do whatever you want. I recommend you should take it. I took it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. But what they did back in 2020 is criminal, very criminal. I'm not a criminal. I was here recommending that you take the jib jab like a true patriotic American would.
That's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it.
So he's mentioned Obama like 4 times now, right? So it's like he's really making it like, okay, let's create the new story. We've been doing this Epstein thing for a while, for like a week straight, and people are getting bored of it. So now let's go ahead and pivot to the next thing. Trump versus Obama. No holds barred. All right. Darren Wheat says, hey, Jake, I watched your suggestion about the remote controlled golf ball. Do you think Tiger's career was real? Bro, remote controlled golf ball is a thing. Tiger, black golfer, becomes the Michael Jordan of golf and does to golf what Michael Jordan did to basketball. Think about it. No, he was just like a totally talented black guy who just happened to be that awesome. Come on, man. All sports and every huge sports star that transcends a sport, totally scripted. So sports are tied back to gambling. Gambling ties back to athletes taking dives. Athletes not trying to play their hardest, not trying their hardest to win. It's as simple as like, oh, too much money was bet on you, so we need you to lose tonight, okay? And we'll shove a bunch of money in your pockets. And here's the thing, you're not allowed to say no, because we own your ass, and you know that already, okay? So go out there and fucking lose, and we'll celebrate afterwards in a pile of money. Okay, boss. It's that easy. I was thinking I should make a video because there's a few videos that came out about the UFC being rigged. I guess a UFC fighter just came out and said that the UFC is rigged. So I was thinking of making a video where I talk about how every major sport is rigged and then give some examples. That should be a good video, right? If I explain why the UFC is rigged, why boxing was rigged, why baseball, football, all of it, and show like a few examples, do a brief explanation for how they rig each sport, why sports are rigged. I think that would be a sweet video. That one might actually get a solid view count too. If I did it right. Spent some time on it. Darren Wheat. Oh yeah, I just read that one. So yes, bro, Tiger Woods got to use the remote control golf ball for sure. Once you realize there's a such thing as remote control golf ball, and then you see the footage of like this one golfer, I forget who it is, getting really mad when someone drove one on a course. So some person drove a remote control golf ball of their own onto a PGA course, and one of these golfers got really mad and fucking kicked it. Can't remember who it was off the top of my head. Anyway, so yeah, the golf courses, you know, they are going to protect and try and keep the public from exposing the fact that they're using remote control golf balls. But there is a clip out there of a remote control golf ball being used on a PGA golf course, and you can tell it's a remote control golf ball. And one of the golfers flips out. Might be one of those things where they revealed the truth to us, like truth in plain sight. Stop looking at me, Swan. Shampoo is better. It go on first and cleans the hair. Nuh-uh, conditioner is better. I go on second and make the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really? Really, fool? Stop looking at me, Swan. There you go. Adam Sandler's funniest bit. Ta-da! You blew it! Hey, you know that Mista lady? I think I just killed her. Oh, wait, that's Happy Gilmore. I heard they're making a Happy Gilmore 2. Don't you love when they desecrate an old comedy that was actually funny, like 30 years later, 20 years later? Like when Jim Carrey and Jim Daniels got together to do that fucking Dumb and Dumber Part 2 movie. Oh, like 20 years after the first one. Like, what are you guys doing? Yeah, so I hear they're going to make another Happy Gilmore. You know that's going to be a fucking pile of dog shit. There's no way to redo a movie that old and do it good. There's zero chance that you can recreate any of that old magic again in 2025 or 2026. That's a retarded idea to even try. But you know how Hollywood is.
And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful.
Like, what's he even fucking talking about right now? Why is this important to anyone?
Brennan, they were all there in a room right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay.
It's really beautiful right now. We have really nice wallpaper. It's so beautiful right now that if you were in this room, you would agree that this is just a wonderful, very beautiful room. This is very important, what I'm talking about. This might be the most important part of this entire news clip is me telling you how beautiful it is.
I have nice pictures up.
There's nice pictures. I'm the president of the United States. I'm on TV right now. It's beautiful in this room. There's nice pictures. This is really important. Every American needs to hear what I'm saying right now. There's nice pictures and it's beautiful.
They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful.
They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. It's very beautiful. It's a nice room. Very lovely pictures on the walls.
We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too.
Speaking of stone cold, when I wrestle Obama at SummerSlam, none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be the special guest referee. That's right, the rattlesnake Steve Austin. He's going to be there at SummerSlam. He's going to help me enforce the rules. All right, I'm going to be stomping a mud hole in Obama's ass and walking it dry. Stone Cold Steve Austin as my special guest referee. There's really no way that I'm going to lose this Hell in the Cell match. It's going to be quite lovely.
But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they look.
All right, so Rory, I knew somebody in chat would bring it up. Rory McIlroy, remote control golf ball. That's all you got to go find. Rory McIlroy remote control golf ball video. He looks like he's genuinely really angry that somebody drove the remote control golf ball on the course, which makes it seem a bit realistic. But then there's also that thing where sometimes they admit the truth in plain sight, admit that they're using that technology. So that it could have totally been either or. Thanks for speaking up and sending a super chat. So anybody who wants to look into golf being rigged with a remote control golf ball, here it is. Rory McIlroy, remote control golf ball. Look it up. All right.
He's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election.
They tried to steal the election. Do you realize no election was ever stolen in the history of elections? Your vote always counts. All the votes are counted one by one. It's a very, very fair process. And do you realize Obama and Creepy Joe, they worked together to try and obfuscate the election? Can you imagine that? I would never do such a thing. No reason to stuff ballot boxes because I am beloved the world over, the most beloved president there ever was. And can you believe they tried to rig the election? It's treason. Obama is treasonous. He's going to pay. He's going to pay a hefty price.
They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents.
So people are worried about these Epstein files. Let me tell you something. Forget about the Epstein file. We got documents. We got lots of documents. You want documents? We got the documents. Would you like us to release the documents? I bet you would. You want to see what's on these documents? I'd like you to beg me. Get down on your knees. Tell me how much you want these documents. Forget all about those pesky Epstein files. You're a traitor and a treasonous, low-life piece of scumbag shit if you even want to see those files. What you do want to see, though, you want to see these documents. I'll tell you what you want to see, and you're going to listen to me, all right?
Coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton.
Crooked Hillary Clinton. Like I said, I was going to put that woman in jail, and then I totally never did it. It was something I said I was going to do while I was running for president in my first term, and then I totally, during my first term as president, never did put crooked Hillary in jail. But, you know, I've got to thinking that perhaps now is the time that I go after crooked Hillary and outlandish Obama. That's right.
$3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report.
It was a total fake report that she spent $12 million on. Right now, we're doing a totally real report. Everything that's happening right here, right now, is totally legitimate, organic, not acted out at all. Hillary Clinton, it took 2 years to figure out she was just acting. She was a fraud. The whole thing was a big joke. This right here is the opposite of that.
It was made up fiction.
This right here is definitely not fiction. Nobody made any of this up. None of this is scripted. What you're looking at is the most real president that there ever was, acting on his own accord, making 100% all his own decisions.
And they used that. Now, the one thing they weren't able to do was to, and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press.
Every time I go over what Trump says word for word, he starts to sound more and more like bumbling Joe Biden, right? It seems like broken AI. Here's the thing. If you just listen and you don't pay attention, it seems like the same old Trump. But if you look at each sentence and then stop it and then repeat it to yourself, he's saying a bunch of time-wasting shit that isn't he's like not going anywhere, not making any good points, rambling. He's acting more like Joe Biden than he is Donald Trump. But none of the MAGAs seem to notice. Nobody seems to point this out but me. And I notice it the most when I break down each sentence, each thing he says, and stop it, and then I do my own impression and stuff. That's when you really see that, like, each sentence coming out of this puppet's mouth is mostly just horse shit that goes nowhere. I don't even know how a fan of Trump can, like, listen to this and be like, yeah, that's my guy. I love him. He's so smart. So glad I voted for him. It's almost like at this point they want the MAGAs to start rejecting him so they can get people to rally behind the next liberal president. So here's my prediction. The next president is going to be a liberal. and it might even be Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders may be the next president. If not, it's going to be some other liberal, but they're making Trump almost out to where he's annoying his own MAGA members. And so if they're going to have Trump for the next 3 years, annoy the fuck out of not only the left, but his own supporters, then they're clearly getting ready to shift to the next liberal president for their next puppet and in charge on TV.
Refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, an admitted fraud. She paid $12 million, and the Democrats, for that report to a wise guy named Chris.
Bro, this is the only channel you can come to and say that without getting laughed out of the room. Imagine that. Frank Beltran says, this isn't the original Trump. That's why he's not as entertaining. This guy is still... So you're talking to someone who specializes in pointing out that celebrities, politicians have been replaced and are currently being replaced. And we even have CGI AI versions of Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and other celebs being presented to us on the screen. And so this is one of the few places in the entire world where you're not going to be laughed at, Frank. Think about that. This is one of the only places where the host of the show isn't going to call you a fucking crazy ass weirdo for saying that and is going to agree with you. Go find any other person live here on YouTube right now and tell them that you don't think it's the original Trump, and they're going to call you crazy and laugh at you. This is one of the few places in the fucking world where regular people can point out what's really going on and not get laughed at. Isn't that sad, you guys? We've got 422 people here, and this little group is one of the only meeting places where a guy like Frank could say something like this, and I don't laugh at him and call him stupid and crazy. You're amongst your own kind, Frank. I agree. He says he doesn't agree with all my theories, but I'm fun to watch. Well, shit, here's the thing is name one major thing that I talk about that you think I'm wrong. Am I wrong about space being fake? No. Am I wrong about the world stage and all these people being actors and puppets? No. Am I wrong about all the sports being scripted? No. So when people say they don't agree with everything I said, it's try and find something you don't agree with me with and give me an example. I pretty much only deal in shit that I believe is totally actually happening. So I try and just only tell the truth and make it funny. So anything that you disagree with me on, it can't be any major thing that I'm saying, because I go out of my way to only tell the truth.
Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit. We can't put this in.
Whoa! So now Trump says cuss words, you guys. Unbleeped bullshit. And this is on Forbes breaking news. Unbleeped bullshit. So we had Trump say fuck, and now he says bullshit, right? So now the president cusses. He's the first president to say fuck and bullshit that I know of.
The election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody. And I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit. We can't put this in. And neither could any other paper. Wall Street Journal's a lousy paper. Very.
Wall Street Journal's lousy. They're a crooked paper. And the one thing that they told the truth was that this is bullshit. What I'm doing, what I'm saying, everything you see here is bullshit. That's the one thing. But it's a crooked paper. It's a crooked paper. You should never believe it. But this one instance, they told the truth. They said that it was bullshit. Just me using this one cuss word is going to make all of my MAGAs cream their jeans. They're going to think I'm so based. They're going to think that, wow, Joe Biden would never say bullshit because he's a total pussy. Obama would never say bullshit because he's a total puss as well. I'm the only president who's got balls enough to say bullshit. You never heard any president cuss like I do. It's because I am the manliest, coolest, most awesome president. I don't take no shit from no one.
Very, very dishonest paper. As you see, I'm suing them for a lot of money because they do things very badly. It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper, and it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I called it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish it. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election. And frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was a big thing. No, we caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones. And then you have many, many people.
We caught crooked Hillary Clinton. We caught outlandish Barack, insane in the membrane Obama. They're really crooked. They're the ones, and we caught them red-handed. I told everyone I was going to put that woman in jail, and then I attended some of the same presidential meetups and dinners where I was in the same room with Obama and with Hillary, and I totally did nothing. I didn't have them arrested. I didn't even so much as say any harsh words in their direction. So there's a strong chance in the future you're going to see me again in the same room with Obama and with Hillary Clinton. And I'm not going to do anything about it. And you're not even going to see me so much as confront them or anything. In fact, you might see the opposite. You might see me smiling. You might see me schmoozing with them. But you're just going to go ahead and you're going to forget about it. You're going to forget that I said this, all right? Because you're a bunch of fucking sheepletards. That's right. I say fuck, I say bullshit, and now I say that you're sheepletards. You're going to love me until I'm finished being the president. You're going to continue to listen to me. You're going to continue to support me, and I'm going to arrest Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton starting tomorrow, all right?
Under them, Susan Rice, they're all there. The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way. And it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So you ought to take a look at that and stop talking about nonsense.
You need to stop talking about bullshit, all right? It's the most unbelievable thing that I've ever said. This room is quite beautiful. There's lovely pictures on the wall. What am I talking about right now? It really doesn't matter. What matters is I caught Barack insane in the membrane Obama, red-handed, along with Hillary Crooked Crotch Clinton. That's right. I just came up with that right now. Hillary Crooked Crotch Clinton. I like that. It's got a nice ring to it. It rolls off the tongue, so to speak. Now I just had the vision of rolling my tongue right off of Hillary Clinton's crooked crotch. Not a very lovely sight. I need to get it out of my brain. La, la, la. Ugh. All right, now let me continue.
Because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race. And the 2020 race was rigged. And the
2020 race was rigged. None of the other presidential elections were rigged. The one where I beat Hillary Clinton, that one, of course, was 100% real. All the votes were counted hand by hand. It was 100% authentic in every way, shape, or form. I whooped her ass fair and square. The election where I lost to Creepy Sleepy Joe, that one was, of course, rigged. Every single vote was fraudulent. The ballots, the voting ballots, they were stuffed with fake votes. I personally saw Hillary Clinton and Barack insane in the membrane. Obama stuffing the ballot box personally. They're gonna pay. They're gonna pay dearly. They're gonna pay. We're gonna deport them to China.
Rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country. We had inflation. We solved the inflation problem. But millions and millions of people came into our country because of that.
And while I was president, there were no people coming into the country. While I was president in my first term, no one came over the border. The border was sealed completely. All of the Mexicans knew better to stay over on their side. We didn't have anybody immigrating here illegally whatsoever. And then, of course, Creepy Joe, he won the rigged election. He stole it, quite frankly. And that's when you saw all of the Mexicans start hopping over the wall. They started making holes in the wall. They started digging underneath the wall, started walking around the wall. Yeah, they opened the door. They just started letting them straight through. And they started welcoming them right on through to the other side of the wall. And it was disgusting. And now that I'm president, again, I sealed it up. None of the illegals are coming over. And as you know, we have ICE deporting every illegal back to Mexico. That's what we're going to do. We're going to deport every single illegal back to Mexico. They want to stay here. They wave the Mexican flags. They say they don't want to go back to Mexico. I don't understand why, but that's where they're going.
People that shouldn't have been, people from gangs and from jails and from mental institutions.
Simone, glad you could make it. She says, hi, Jake, Ralphie, and everyone. Been so busy, but wanted to show you some love. Hey, I understand people got shit going on in life. So sometimes people disappear for a month or two and then show up. And so whenever you get a chance to show up to the stream and be a part of the fun, you're always welcome here, and you've donated to the channel plenty of times, so I really, really appreciate it. So, being as I haven't had Ralphie show his face tonight, and he hasn't made an appearance for the entire stream, why don't we go ahead and take care of that and let Ralph show his beautiful beagle face right here, right now, and say hello to everybody. Let's get rid of Trump. Woo. All right. Ralph! Simone says hi, Ralph. Oh, there's the Ralph. There's the Ralph. Patiently waiting for me to stop streaming so we can go for a walk, huh? He's patiently being a quiet, good dog, huh? He's my good dog. Huh. Say hi to everyone, Ralph. He's a good Ralph. He's a good Ralph's. Good puppy. Ralph's a good boy. He does chew up some of my shit. That's like the only bad thing he does is he chews shit up. But other than that, he's a pretty damn good dog. And I'm thinking when he gets older, he'll like grow out of the chew up my stuff phase. But he gets a lot of attention. Whenever we go out for a walk, like people just walking by will be like, oh, so cute. Can I pet your dog? And then Ralph will like start wagging his tail, and then he'll fucking do the cute puppy thing. He'll be like, look at me. I'm the cutest beagle ever. And they'll be like, oh, is he a beagle? I'm like, yeah, he's a beagle. He gets a lot of attention, this one. Yep. When you're that good looking of a dog, people notice. Thank you, Simone. I appreciate you stopping in, sending some super chat love, and saying hi to Ralphie. He appreciates it too. Here, Ralph. Go over on your chair. A lot of times he'll be back here on his chair back here, chilling out, watching the stream. Oh, he just got that. Anyway. Justin T says, use the dog to get some poon. Ah, yes. Poontang. I remember what it was like to get some poontang. I've damn near forgot, though. Justice for Jake says, I missed the Candace Owens stream. Her husband is biologically related to the royal family and was friends with Andrew Tate before he became famous. Also, Russell Brand introduced her husband to her. So basically, in a nutshell, just watch my latest upload, and it's just a 10-minute video of me connecting Candace Owens to Russell Brand, and then me doing a Russell Brand impression, making fun of him. And then my stream was long, so like if you missed the stream, you didn't miss that much. So you could just watch the 10-minute video that I posted, and you'll see the funniest stuff, some of the funniest stuff that I did. Oh, there is one other funny part that is at the beginning of the last stream that I did. A guy asked me to do Roseanne Barr interpreting for Stephen Hawking's, and so that turned out really well. I don't want to repeat it tonight because I just did it last stream. So if you guys want to see me do Roseanne Barr interpreting for Stephen Hawking, that's at the beginning of the last stream I did. Probably one of the funniest bits that I've done in a while. And it was somebody's suggestion. So it was brought up by one of you guys, which is always awesome. Looks like I got a few other super chats that came in. Let me pull those up. Hold on, Ralph. Had one from RL, said they don't like profanity. Who doesn't like profanity? I'm not sure who you're talking about, RL. Who? Adam Morgan said Trump riffing skills 100. Oh, yeah. If I listen to Trump, I can't help but do the impression. And so, like, if he says something retarded, I just basically will, like, almost repeat what he said, but instead, like, make it even more ridiculous. So if he just, like, says some weird run-on sentence, I'll just take that run-on sentence and, like, over-exaggerate it, right? Which seems to always result in doing something at least semi-funny. So hell yeah. Trump riffing indeed. RL says, Don schmuck me Trump. What a tard. Schmuck me Trump. Don schmuck me Trump. What a tard. Thanks, RL. I agree with that statement. Sextillion%. Jack the A-hole update on dad project plans for meetup 2026. So my dad, I'm thinking I'm gonna need like another week to get my shit together. The camera that I got, you guys, I didn't think about the memory card, that it would need this certain special SanDisk memory card. And so when I got it, it doesn't have any memory card at all. And so I charged it up, was watching a video about, like, you know, beginner's guide to using the Osmo Pocket 3. And yeah, it doesn't have a memory card. Where does it go? Oh, right there. So it doesn't have a memory card. So when I looked up online, like what the best one for it is, it recommends SanDisk Extreme Pro, and they don't have that exact one anywhere near me. They have these other SanDisk memory cards that aren't quite the exact right one. So I have to fucking order it tonight on Amazon and then wait a few more days for the memory card, which sucks. So I thought for sure like Target and Walmart and Best Buy would have all these memory cards, but they have other memory cards that are similar, but not the one that's recommended. So since this shoots in 4K, I have to have this SanDisk Extreme Pro memory card so that it doesn't degrade the footage and it doesn't give you an error message. And if you have the wrong memory card, you can have your footage degraded or the camera will shut off or it'll give you an error message. So I had to look up all this shit and find out that like, oh, I need this certain memory card. And it's only $30, so it's not that expensive. It's just they don't have one near me, so I have to order it tonight on Amazon. And then they don't have the wireless mics to buy singularly. And so I have to order a wireless mic from Amazon as well so that I have 2 wireless mics because the camera comes with 1 wireless mic. I'll even show you the mic. So I haven't even been able to use the fucking camera. It's sitting here, but I can't use it. So the wireless mics look like this. And so these by themselves are $100, but they don't have one near me that I can just go buy by itself. So I have to order one of these. So tonight, when I finish up the stream, I'm going to order one of these and the SanDisk for the Pocket 3 here. And then I should have that delivered in a couple days. It'll probably take 2 or 3 days to deliver it. And then I'll finally be able to start using it. And then I need to do a couple things on my van. I need to clean up my van and maybe even have a few things replaced on it because the tires are fucking bald and the fluids are low and shit. So I need to work on my van a bit and then wait for the stuff to come in for the camera. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go hang out with my dad and do that the last few days of July or the first few days of August. I'll head up there. So the plan is to still go get that footage of my dad. I just didn't realize that the memory card I needed has to be a certain specific one. And since this shoots in 4K, I need to get one with like 250 or 500 gigabytes so that it can hold a bunch of memory. So eventually I'll get over there to the coast to film my dad. All right. Oh, and then he asked about meetup 2026. I don't have any meetups planned at the moment. So the major plan is to shoot that footage with my dad where I try and wake up my dad. Anyone who hasn't heard, I want to go meet up with my dad, who's a sheep basically, but he has a plan to fix the world. And I want to get that on camera. My dad's plan to fix the world. And then when I disagree with him, tell him that his plan's not going to work. We're going to have an argument. And so I want to catch it all on camera and turn it into like I don't know, like a video documentary or something. We'll see how it goes. And so that's what he's asking about, just in case anyone doesn't know. Plans for the meetup 2026. So I don't have any meetups or anything planned other than get this footage with my dad and then start making content with this new Pocket fucking Osmo Pocket 3. So this thing is small, right? It doesn't look like much, but apparently this is like the bee's knees and shoots 4K and it has a stabilized shot. And with these wireless microphones, you can get crystal clear audio, and that it has like a facial tracking that you can set up to where I can like walk around in front of the camera and it'll track me back and forth like my own cameraman. So there's a lot of awesome things I'll be able to do. It's just right now, this second, there's no memory card inside there. So can't even turn it on and do anything with it. Deadbeat says, silent actor gave the best speech ever. Thoughts? Let me pull it up, bro. Huh. Yeah, this definitely looks like the man with the little mustache. All right, a lot of stuff being said here in the chat. Let me try and get to all of it. Just before I get to this request for me to sing Gangster's Paradise in the style of Aaron Haywood, hold on just a minute, bro. I'll get right back to that. Let me fucking bring up a few other comments first relating to this video. Recon Willie says, Marxist speech. This is Chaplin's curse on humanity. This is a speech promoting one world government beast system sold as heartfelt. Good stuff, Recon Willie. Got Sober Scalper, who bought 10 memberships for you guys, donating 10 memberships to the family. I love it. Thank you very much, Sober Scalper. I appreciate you hooking people up with memberships. Spreading the love, spreading the joy, spreading the truth. Oh boy. You gotta love his little mustache. Gee, who does that remind you of? All right, let me pull up the lyrics to this bad boy. All right. Jake the asshole, who's a bloody shape-shifting icon. He's going to shape-shift into Aaron Bloody Haywood, craziest Tasmanian there ever was on the Isle. And he's going to be singing Gangster's Paradise in the style of Bloody Aaron Haywood. Goes like this, mate. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Because I've been blasting and laughing so long, even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Maybe treated like a punk, you know it's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking, where you're walking, or your homes might get lined in chalk. I really hate to trip, but I gotta look. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G all the little homies want to be like. On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they've got me facing. Can't live a normal life. I was raised by the street, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams, mate. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind, got a 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a locked-out gangster, set-tripping banger. And my homies is Dan, so you want to rouse my anger. Full death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things are going, I don't know, mate. There you go. Whew. Gangster's Paradise in the style of Aaron Haywood. For those of you who don't know, there's a guy who lives in Tasmania who thinks I'm a shapeshifter, and that's how he sounds. And people sometimes give me money to sing songs in the style of that guy, such as now. Thank you, I'm Rigged, for coming up with that comedic suggestion. Hopefully you got a chuckle or two out of the deal. I like when you guys come up with these comedic suggestions that I've never done before. So I get to perform something new. And it's something in my wheelhouse. Like you know that I know gangster rap songs. And you know that I do that voice well. So you came up with an idea in your head where I rap this gangster rap song in the style of a Tasmanian, which nobody has ever done before. So it's cool. Thank you, bro, for coming up with these ideas. It's like you guys are like my own private writing team, except you guys are way more funny than the hack fucking writers who write the late night jokes. We make a good team. I'm not even kidding. Those type of jokes that you guys or comedic suggestions that you're coming up with are better than what the writers of the Colbert Show are coming up with, right? So there you go. We make a better team than the bullshit mainstream comedians who are overpaid, who are getting canceled because we whooped their ass so bad here on YouTube. Let me tell you something, Simone. She wants me to give you some Arnold, and that is what you're going to get. You send me the super chat, then I have to give you what you want. You want me to pump you up. You want me to get down. You want to go to the chopper. Simone, would you like to get on the chopper? You want to know why I call it the chopper, Simone? Simone, the reason why I call it the chopper is to save time. If I was to say, Simone, come down to the helicopter, it takes up too much time. Each day of our lives is going by quicker and quicker. So in order to save precious time in our day, I say get down to the chopper rather than saying get down to the helicopter. It's a way to save time. Simone, would you like to go for a ride inside the chopper? Do you need to get down? You need to come down and take a chemical concoction. Simone, I would like you to get pumped up. I would like you to take the chemical concoction. And if you do not want to take a chemical concoction, then screw your freedom. Screw your freedom. I don't mean screw your freedom in a negative way. I mean screw your freedom in a positive way. I want to tell each and every one of you in a positive way from the bottom of my heart, screw your freedom. I think I'm going to go on The View and I'm going to set all of these beautiful ladies straight. Do you remember when I went on The View with all of the most gorgeous, beautiful women that I ever seen? And I said to the Whoopi Goldberg, and I said, do you remember when we was at the Planet Hollywood back in the mid-90s, in the Planet Hollywood in the opening, me and the Whoopi Goldberg, we was hanging out at the Planet Hollywood. I do not agree with immigrating into this country illegally. If you want to come over, you have to do it the right way. You have to do it like me, and you have to immigrate here legally, and you become a citizen of this nation. And that is why when I go to California, and then I have cauliflower growing in California, the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There you go. Little Arnold for that ass. For Simone.
Do you remember in the movies when I said that I will be back? I was telling you the truth, and then I came back for Terminator 3 and Terminator 4 and Terminator 5. Does anyone want to watch Terminator Part 6? I don't even know if the franchise can handle another bad Terminator movie.
Seriously, those last few Terminator movies, whoa, what in the fuck is even going on there? All right. Well, you know what? Tonight I'm thinking maybe I'll leave you guys satisfied and wanting a little more. Last week I went kind of long. I went 4 hours last week. Maybe it's a little much. So maybe tonight we'll cut it off here and everyone can have a wonderful rest of their Tuesday night. I had fun. I got through what I wanted to get through and might as well go out on a high note, you know, doing an Arnold impression, hooking Simone up with a laugh on my way out. And so thank you guys for hanging out with me on another Truther Tuesday night. Let me make sure I got all the super chats before I shut it down, though. Yeah, I think I got all the super chats. Let me just make one last check to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, I think I got them all. Sweet. All right, guys, a fun show. We had a good crowd tonight, which is always awesome to see. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you guys come and hang out, you know, every Tuesday. And I'm going to probably be doing a stream on Saturday. I'm thinking members only stream Saturday. So you might want to become a member if you are not a member already. And I'll probably also try and post another video before Saturday. So, yeah, keep an eye out for new content, members only content, and members only streams. This is the best and greatest, funniest truth telling channel that there ever was. And this is one of the only places left where real people can come together and talk about real shit. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for making this an enjoyable stream for me. You guys are the best damn audience a guy could ever have. I love you guys. Thanks for all the super chats. I'll go back and read all the messages on the replay, and I will catch you guys in the next stream or in the next video. And peace out. Much love. Good night. See you next time. Well, just before I turn it off, it looks like a super chat just came in. I was just about to turn it off. But Dan Pineda said, sup, bruh. Sup, bruh. I'm literally shutting down the stream right now. But you're the last super chat. Thank you very much, Dan Pineda. Sup, bruh. Good night, bruh. Peace out, bruh.